There are moments in life when everything suddenly stops. The noise fades, the rush disappears, and all you can hear is the sound of your own breathing, wondering what comes next. For many, that moment arrives with illness, a diagnosis, a hospital bed, and the soft hum of machines counting every heartbeat. I know that silence. I've been in that room not as a visitor but as a patient. And in that stillness, I learned one of life's hardest lessons. That strength isn't about how much you can lift, but how much you can endure. Life has a way of reminding us how fragile we truly are. One day you're planning your future, chasing dreams, building something that feels solid, and the next, a doctor looks you in the eye and says something that shatters everything. In that moment, time divides your life into two parts, the one before and the one after. You start asking questions you never thought you would. Why me? What did I do wrong? Will I ever be okay again? But over time, I learned something powerful. Real strength begins when you stop asking, why me? And start asking, what now? Because what now turns pain into purpose. It turns you from a victim into a survivor. You stop drowning in questions and start learning how to breathe underwater. When I lay in that hospital bed, my body felt like it had betrayed me. I couldn't control it anymore. But strangely, that's where true strength started to grow. I realized that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's a quiet whisper that says, try again tomorrow. There were days I couldn't move without pain, yet I still smiled at the nurse who walked in. I still said, thank you to those who stood by me. That's what strength really is, not denying pain, but choosing love in the middle of it. And in that place of weakness, I discovered something profound. Weakness can be a teacher. When your body breaks, your spirit begins to rebuild. Illness strips away the illusion of control and reveals what truly matters. The people who love you, the moments you overlooked, and the simple breath that keeps you alive. We're taught to fight everything, to win, to conquer, to never surrender. But sometimes the bravest thing you can do is let go, not in defeat but in acceptance. When I finally accepted my illness, it didn't mean I gave up. It meant I stopped wasting energy fighting what I couldn't change. I focused on healing instead of hating, and in that acceptance I found peace. I realized that the body may grow weak, but the soul is endlessly strong. There's a calm that comes when you stop trying to control every outcome, when you take a deep breath and say, no matter how hard this road gets, I'll walk it. That isn't weakness. That's courage in its purest form. You might wonder, what good can possibly come from illness? How can something that hurts so deeply bring anything positive? But I've learned that pain, if you let it, becomes the soil where wisdom grows. It teaches patience, because healing takes time. It teaches gratitude, because a simple glass of water or a full night's sleep starts to feel like a miracle. It teaches empathy, because once you've known deep pain, you see others' struggles differently. And most of all, it teaches humility, the understanding that life doesn't owe you anything. Every sunrise is a gift. Every heartbeat is a blessing. When you start to see life that way, even suffering becomes sacred because it awakens something inside you that peace never could. During my illness, I spent long stretches in silence, hours, sometimes days, and with nothing but my own thoughts. And in that silence, I found a mirror. It forced me to face myself, my fears, my regrets, and everything I had been running from. Illness has a way of stripping you down to your core, showing you what's real. I started to see how much of my life had been spent chasing things that didn't truly matter: money, approval, pride, image. But when you're lying in a hospital bed, those things lose all meaning. You start asking different questions. Did I love enough? Did I forgive enough? Did I truly live while I could? And maybe that's the hidden gift inside illness. It forces you to face the truth. It teaches you mindfulness. It shows you just how precious every single breath really is. We spend so much of our lives running, chasing success, attention, validation, until something stops us. Illness does that. It stops you cold. At first, it feels like punishment. But slowly, it becomes a blessing. Because in that stillness, you begin to rediscover the things you once took for granted. The sound of rain on your window, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the simple miracle of being alive. time starts to feel sacred. You realize that life isn't about how long you live. It's about how deeply you live. And in that realization, fear begins to fade. You stop counting days and start filling moments. Pain changes you, but it doesn't have to define you. The truth is, we don't always get to choose what happens to us, but we do get to choose how we respond. Every single day, I had that choice, to focus on what I'd lost, or to be grateful for what I still had. And when I started choosing gratitude, I began to see beauty even in brokenness. The smile of a visitor, the quiet strength of the nurses, the courage of other patients fighting their own unseen battles. Those moments reminded me that I wasn't alone. None of us are. We are all fragile in our own ways, but that fragility connects us. Real strength isn't isolation. It's connection. It's love. It's hope. When my body finally began to heal, I realized something important. Healing isn't just physical. It's emotional. It's spiritual. Illness had torn me apart, but it also gave me the chance to rebuild, wiser, softer, more grateful than before. I started journaling every day, not about what I'd lost, but about what I was learning. I wrote about the lessons hidden in pain, the quiet beauty in ordinary days, and the strength it takes to simply show up. And slowly I began to understand, healing begins the moment you stop seeing yourself as broken. You are not your illness. You are not your scars. You are the courage it takes to keep going despite them. Once you survive something that could have ended you, you see life differently. Every small thing becomes meaningful. A conversation, a smile, a sunrise. And you realize that maybe your pain has a purpose. For me, that purpose became simple. To remind others that no matter what they're going through, they are stronger than they think. Because that's what pain can do. It can shape you. It can soften your heart and harden your resolve. And if you can take that pain and use it to lift someone else up, then it no longer owns you. You've turned it into purpose. True strength doesn't always look like fighting. Sometimes it looks like peace. The calm smile of someone who's learned to live with what they can't change. It's the quiet courage of waking up each morning and saying, I'm still here, and I'm going to make today count. That kind of strength doesn't fade. It grows deeper with time. It becomes the kind that carries others when they've lost hope. Because when you've walked through darkness and found the light, you become the light for someone else. So if you're watching this right now, if you're facing illness, or someone you love remember this, you are not your pain. You are not your diagnosis. You are a soul that cannot be broken. Life may look different now, but it's still beautiful. Don't wait for the storm to pass. Learn to dance in the rain. Find gratitude in the smallest things. Find strength in surrender. Find peace in this very moment. And if this message touched your heart, if it reminded you that hope still lives even in the darkest places, then share it. Because sometimes a few words of light can change someone's entire life. Remember, you are stronger than you know, and your story is not over yet. Until next time, take care of yourself. You're worth it.